After more than half a year since the relaxation of epidemic control measures, China's economy remains sluggish with no signs of recovery. The recent dire situations in Beijing, Shanghai, and Hong Kong are clearly sending a message to the top leaders in Shanghai. The negative consequences of the past few years' left turn in politics and economy, aggressive diplomatic posturing, and irrational lockdown measures during the pandemic are now manifesting. Recently, a video titled "Mass Exodus of Fortune 500 Expatriate Managers Leads to Plummeting Luxury Apartment Rentals in Shanghai" has been widely circulated. Before being censored by the Chinese Communist Party, it had garnered over 15 million views and more than 400,000 shares, estimated to have reached at least 20 million viewers. In the video, a man stands on the deserted Fuxing Road in Shanghai, pointing to the empty buildings on both sides of the street and says, "Recently, rents in Shanghai have plummeted. Even I, who have nothing to do with rentals, know about it. Do you know why? Because all the foreigners have left." He mentions the previous prosperity of the area, where the streets were filled with foreigners, but now there is not a single foreigner left, only Chinese people. All the foreigners have left. He then mentions some residential communities in Shanghai, such as Mingyuan Century City, Jiali Garden, Weijing Garden, and Wutong Flower Garden, where rents used to be around tens of thousands or even up to 40 to 50,000 yuan per month. These houses were all rented by foreigners, employees of multinational companies among the Fortune 500, and their well-established companies provided these accommodations for them. The man further states that now that all the foreigners have left and there are no tenants, the economy is not doing well, and rents are bound to fall. He also cites an example of his friend who used to be a landlord, saying, "A few years ago, he was making a fortune, but now he's in a terrible loss because no one is renting his properties." This video reveals a fact that instills fear in the high-level officials in Beijing's Shanghai. Many foreign executives working for Fortune 500 multinational companies have left China. This indicates that the accelerated withdrawal or downsizing of multinational corporations from China is becoming a nightmare for the Chinese Communist Party. While the video highlights the impact on the rental and real estate market in Shanghai, its true implications extend to the economic development of Shanghai and even the entire country. It is well known that Shanghai is the center of China's economy, finance, trade, shipping, commerce, upstream manufacturing, and opening up to the outside world. Its GDP accounts for nearly 4% of the national total and has been at the forefront of the country for many years. However, the lockdown measures imposed in Shanghai for 2 months last year not only dealt a heavy blow to the local economy but also severely impacted industry chains, private enterprises, and the confidence of foreign investors. Foreigners, including capable Shanghai residents, have been leaving the city. In order to mitigate the negative impact, in early April this year, the Shanghai municipal government issued the measures to attract and utilize foreign investment in Shanghai, which covers the entire process and various aspects of foreign investment. In the financial sector, it explicitly supports qualified foreign securities, fund companies, and other financial institutions to settle in Shanghai first. It supports qualified foreign invested enterprises to go public domestically, list on the new third board and regional equity markets, and issue corporate credit bonds for financing. Various support measures have been introduced to attract foreign investment in establishing headquarters-type institutions in Shanghai, emphasizing the protection of foreign investment and providing convenience for the entry and exit of foreigners, and more. After more than 2 months of implementing these substantial investment promotion measures, what are the results? The video titled "Mass Exodus of Fortune 500 Expatriate Managers Leads to Plummeting Luxury Apartment Rentals in Shanghai" provided an answer to the Chinese people. It showed that many foreign businesses were not attracted by the so-called preferential conditions and continued to leave China. This indicates that the Chinese Communist Party's flip-flopping and lies have already been seen through by foreigners. They do not want to fall for the same trap again, and the negative reputation of the Chinese Communist Party is known worldwide. This has left the authorities in Shanghai and Beijing losing face. This is also the reason why the blogger who released the video was forced to take it down within less than 20 hours. Because the more people see it, the greater the negative impact will be, and how can the Chinese Communist Party tolerate the widespread dissemination of the truth that exposes them? While the censored video gained popularity overseas, an article titled "Is Hong Kong's Central Business District, Where Every Inch is Gold, Emptying Out?" surfaced online, causing further trouble for the authorities in Shanghai. The article claims that Hong Kong's office buildings are among the most expensive commercial properties in the world, but the vacancy rate has never been so high. For example, The vacancy rate of billionaire Li Ka-shing's luxury residence in the Cheungkong Center is approximately 25%, and only 30% of the nearby curved glass building under construction by tycoon Li Shaoqi's Henderson Land has been rented out. According to the article, currently, Hong Kong has a record-high vacancy of 13 million square feet of office space. Data from Colliers International shows that the overall vacancy rate of Grade A office buildings reached nearly 15% in April, more than triple the rate in 2019. A significant factor behind this is the worsening business environment in China, especially for foreign banks, as tensions between China and the United States escalate. Wall Street banks are reducing their expansion plans and implementing layoffs. However, compared to cities in mainland China, Hong Kong is still considered a top performer. In terms of office stock, Shanghai ranks first in the country with a volume of 15.09 million square meters, followed by Beijing with 10.85 million square meters. In terms of the vacancy rate of Grade A office buildings, Hong Kong has the lowest rate at 15% nationwide. Beijing has a vacancy rate of 18.7%, Shanghai has 20%, Guangzhou has 21%, and Shenzhen has 24.9%. Except for Beijing and Hong Kong, the vacancy rates in other cities are all above 20%. Generally, a vacancy rate exceeding 20% is a cause for concern. There is no doubt that the departure of foreign investment from Hong Kong is closely related to the Chinese Communist Party's suppression of democracy in the city. The oppressive actions of the Chinese Communist Party in mainland China are now being played out in Hong Kong. The regression of democracy in Hong Kong is a significant reason why foreign investment is turning away from the city. The dire situation in the housing rental markets of Shanghai and Hong Kong is the result of the Chinese Communist Party's own actions, and no one else should be blamed. In addition to these unfortunate circumstances in Shanghai and Hong Kong, I recently heard from a friend that there are increasing numbers of foreclosed properties, primarily residential properties, in Beijing and many other cities. Many of these foreclosed properties are located in medium to high-end residential communities, with average prices ranging from over 1 million to tens of millions of yuan. This phenomenon has been steadily rising since 2020. According to data released by the China Index Academy in February of this year, there were a total of 606,000 foreclosed properties nationwide in 2022, representing a year-on-year increase of 35.7%. Among them, the number of foreclosed residential properties exceeded 300,000, with a year-on-year increase of 34.6%, showing a larger growth rate. Data from the Hong Kong Institute of Data Research also indicates that a total of 9.8161 million foreclosed properties were listed nationwide in 2022, representing a 23.66% increase compared to 2021. Among them, 5.15775 million were residential properties, showing a 29.36% increase compared to 2021. These figures only represent the number of listed foreclosed properties. A netizen revealed in a video earlier this year that the number of foreclosed properties reached 2 million in 2022, and experts estimate that it will reach 5 million this year. However, while the quantity continues to increase, the transaction volume of foreclosed properties has started to decline. The foreclosure properties refer to properties that are forcibly auctioned by the court when the debtor, property owner, is unable to fulfill the loan contract or repay the debt, and the creditor applies to the court for enforcement. The increase in foreclosure properties indicates that many debtors are unable to repay their debts, including private business owners who have faced economic downturns, business closures, and reduced income due to COVID-19 lockdowns, as well as middle-class individuals who have lost their jobs and are unable to repay bank loans. How can their predicament be resolved? With the withdrawal of foreign capital, a sluggish domestic market, and widespread grievances among the people, the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, faces the question of how to address the situation. Can simply chanting slogans and combining the ideologies of Marxism and traditional Chinese culture help overcome these challenges?